Hi, my name is Jackie Sylvester, and for my PLN, I focused on writing in the social studies classroom. So I'm looking at creative ways to integrate writing into the social studies classroom through the use of technology. I'm a ninth grade U.S. Studies teacher, so I want to focus on improving writing skills for my social studies classroom with the ninth graders. With the new Common Core standards, there's a heavy emphasis on writing across all the curriculums. A major focus in this current standards is to develop theses and support the position with evidence. These are focuses in the American history content standards. I would like to incorporate formal and informal writing through the use of Google Docs, Moodle, blogging, and other Web 2.0 tools. So that's what I'll be exploring throughout my PLN. In addition to writing theses, I'm always also looking at the correlation of historical events and cause and effect relationships. I think that this PLN will be beneficial to my students because it will allow them to practice their writing skills and become familiar with many tools and forums that they may be required to use in the future. I also think that it will help them to learn to think critically, defend their position on a variety of topics. As a teacher, I'll be able to monitor their understanding of a topic and provide immediate feedback through the use of technology. So my goals for this PLN are to have the students be able to write a thesis statement and support their ideas with evidence, use critical thinking skills to support or refute their position, and teach the students to analyze cause, effect, sequence, and relationship of events throughout history, and to help them become familiar with writing in a variety of different mediums. These are based on the American History content statements from the OTE. They're also part of my SLO for this year. This PLN will address several net standards for students, including creativity and innovation. So the students will be applying existing knowledge to create new ideas and working collaboratively, communicating with others through a variety of mediums. They will be employing critical thinking, problem solving, and decision making skills throughout the writing process. Also, digital citizenship will be enforced. I will be teaching them to use technology in an ethical and legal way, in a safe way within the schools. Also, they'll be learning new technology operations and concepts, becoming familiar with new programs. So, as my steps are pretty much similar to most others, which would be researching. Research is the basis of my project, researching how to integrate writing into the social studies classroom, historical thinking skills, using technology to support writing in the classroom, and creating lessons and resources to support the writing in the social studies class. At the end, I'll reflect on everything. I stuck pretty close to my timeline. The majority of it was doing the research, and the implementation of this project will impact my classroom in several different areas. Students, I hope, will improve their writing skills and be more comfortable in the writing process. A lot of my students are weak writers. They don't like to write. So I'm hoping that through this process, they will be more engaged in the writing process and become more comfortable and confident in their writing styles. Students will improve in critical thinking, collaboration, and digital learning skills. I hope that they will become familiar with various Web 2.0 tools to show understanding of a topic. And using technology will help me to monitor their understanding of the topic and hope to get them more engaged in the writing and learning process. So some of the examples and resources that I plan to use in my classroom are noted here. I'm going to go over the sample assignments in this part 1, and then part 2, I'll continue with the additional resources and reflections. So I didn't really create, excuse me, I didn't really create actual lesson plans because I hope to interweave this technology into many, many lessons. The technology is just kind of supporting the writing. So I did create several examples, and I'll explain how I plan to integrate these into my assignments or into my units throughout the school year. The first is graphic organizers. As I said, one of the focuses of my class is to have students be able to think historically, write thesis statements, and support it with evidence. My students oftentimes have a hard time organizing their thoughts in writing an essay, so it needs to be highly scaffolded through outlining, and they need to be supervised and kind of walk through the process. So I came across this tool called Read, Write, Think. It's a website that has all of these free interactive writing tools for all grade levels. And it is just a wonderful, wonderful website. There's so many graphic organizers. They have pamphlets, templates, they have newspaper templates, they have outlines for essays, they have storyboards, they have summary tools, note-taking tools. It's just really a good website. I can't believe that I never came across it before this. So to kind of start the writing process, I'm going to integrate a graphic organizer, which I made an example of. And they have two different kinds of graphic organizers that are similar to this persuasion map, and then there's just an essay map, which is more for informative writing. But I really like this tool because it just kind of goes block by block, and each block, when you're filling it in, gives you like a tip on how you should do it. So for the introduction, for the persuasion map, it has them construct a thesis statement, and they need to, it tells them what needs to be included in their thesis statement. And then it breaks down to the main reasons. And again, it just kind of prompts them as they go along to their main reasons, 1, 2, and 3. And then it moves down to the facts and examples of each, so the supporting details for the main reasons. And finally, the conclusion, which again, it offers prompts to write the conclusion and tie it all together. So I really like this tool, this graphic organizer, for this process. Also, I really like the fact that it can be printed off as a blank template as well, in case you can't get to a computer lab. You can still use it in the classroom, and it can be adapted for all grade levels. So right here they have the outline for their 5-paragraph essay, if that's what you choose to have them write. You can also make it smaller if need be. But I really like this. The second activity or sample assignment I came up with was Poplet. And Poplet is this great inexpensive website that can be used to create graphic organizers, storyboards, or pretty much any visual aid you want. You kind of design it yourself. I used it to create a concept map on the positive and negative effects of industrialization. So I'll show you that. It is free for like the first 5 poplets you want to create, and then it's I think it's like $3 a month or $10 for the year. So it's a really, really inexpensive tool. And that's for like a single license, but the school licenses aren't that much more expensive, actually. What I like about this is that they can add video and pictures, which I did not do. I just did a basic concept map. But also, it's a collaborative tool, so you can see who created what and who added to what feature. So it notes their name. Since I created this whole thing, it has my name on it, but you know, you would be able to see who's participating, who's getting it, who's not, that kind of thing. So I really do like that feature of this app, or of this program. It also can be downloaded as an app for the iPod and iPad, which is really good for me because I have a iPod cart in my classroom where I can use this tool quite frequently. So I really do like this tool as well. So it kind of gives you an idea of the students being able to show you concepts and get their pre-writing down ahead of time. Powtoon is another resource that I thought I could integrate in the classroom in a creative manner. It is a video. It looks like a cartoon or a comic, so it's animated. I used Powtoon to develop a video on the long-term causes of World War II. So in this assignment, the students would have to create a video on an assigned topic, have them write a script, which they could do a script, or you could actually have them do a storyboard as well. So they kind of have to map out their drawings and their writing as well. So it just depends on how detailed you want them to get, and work together to develop a video to publish on YouTube. So this is a great way to engage the students in the writing process, but to add some creativity and reach out to the different learning styles. So I'll just show you part of the video that I made.
There were many long-term causes leading up to World War II. The Treaty of Versailles was the major cause of World War II. This is the peace treaty that ended World War I in 1919. The treaty was intended to keep peace among nations, but did the exact opposite. Although the Europeans were very happy with the outcome of the treaty, Germany was not. The treaty punished Germany very harshly. Germany was blamed for starting World War I, and therefore was forced to accept full responsibility for World War I. Among the many conditions, Germany was forced to give up territory, pay billions of dollars in war reparations, and limit the size of their army and navy. This upset the Germans because it made them look weak, and they were very unhappy with their government for signing the treaty. The second long-term cause of World War II was the various economic factors. Germany was already in debt from war.
Okay, so you can just see that it's animated, and they have, you can import pictures, they have free like characters and different things that you can integrate into the video, and then you can integrate music. They have some music that you can use, or you could do a voiceover, so you can also upload your own songs. So I really think that Powtoon is a fun, creative way for the students to show more than just their writing skills, but be a little bit creative with the storyline and process. Last, I created a newspaper. I think newspapers are good ways to engage students in the content while working on writing skills and in another creative way. So for this type of activity, I would have the students work collaboratively to create a newspaper on an assigned topic in history, and they would be able to show their opinions, inform the audience, and work collaboratively while focusing on writing. I got this template off of Google Docs, and there's a lot of free templates all over the internet. Read Write Think has one, but it was a little too low level for my students. I think it would be good for elementary class, or maybe even up to 6th grade. But I just created a sample newspaper on the causes that led to World War I, like the short-term events, and I only did a front page. If I was assigning this to my students, I would have them do more than the 2 articles that are on here. I got some primary sources where I added advertisements from 1914 and just tried to make it look like a newspaper. So my articles are about the assassination of the Archduke, and then the actual declaration of war on Austria-Hungary, or on Serbia, sorry. So this is just another way to integrate writing into the classroom. So in part 2, I will go over the additional resources that I plan to integrate into the classroom and my reflection.